standing off to the side. I can't see him. She calls him over. Bruh, I'm 6'2". I'm sitting down on a chair that's kind of elevated. I'm looking way up to this dude. Alright, this is going to be quick. This is really just something that I felt like adding on because this happened today and it's mad funny, I thought. But I listened to Tommy Sotomayor. The dude talks about black women a lot, and he's come up with these names, the Terminatrix, the BT-1000, BT-1100s, whatever. So this older lady, this mom comes, I'm at my job or whatever. She comes up, she's like, me and my kid family need to be rehoused because they put us in the shelter and they gave us a toddler bed and my kid is too big for that. Like, you need to move us. And I'm like, well, if we house you, like if we're housing you, you come down, you tell us that you need housing, we give you the only available housing that we have to accommodate your family size. If that's the only available housing that we have, what would you then like us to do from there? You're asking us to move you. The only place that we have for you is the house that we gave you. If you do not take that, where are we then supposed to put you? What are we then supposed to do? She's like, I don't know. And she's like, that's for y'all to figure out. I'm like, well, no, this is for you to figure out because we gave you housing. I mean, you can try and get moved, but it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We close at 4:30, 4-ish. Our even housing shuts down sooner than that. I'm like, if you're looking to get help with housing, you should have been here earlier. She's like, well, they gave my kid a twin bed. I'm like, well, that's not on social services. Social services put you at the placement. The placement is on the company to provide a big enough bed for your family. And I'm like, and I'm pretty sure that they all provide a standard size bed. She's like, no, they don't. They gave him a toddler bed. In my head, I'm like, that's a lie, because none of the shelters have toddler beds. We don't have no little race car beds for people. You get a regular bed, a twin, or a crib. If you don't have a regular bed or a crib, that's not what they have in shelters, so I didn't believe it. 2, I work for the company that she was living with, so I know they have no toddler beds. But she insisted they gave a toddler bed. She's like, you see my son, you see what he looks like, you think he's fitting in that little bed? I'm like, actually, I can't see your son because you're the only one standing in front of me. Your son's standing off to the side, I can't see him. She calls him over. Bruh, I'm 6'2". I'm sitting down on a chair that's kind of elevated. I'm looking way up to this dude. Is it my fault you got a kid that's 6'5", trying to fit in a twin-size bed? Of course the thing's going to feel like a toddler. But you're going to sit here and insist to me that we put you in a shelter and it's our responsibility to call the town and notify the town that they didn't give them an adequate sized bed. Meanwhile, it's the shelter that provides the bed for you, not social services. But it's your problem, and we're supposed to call the town to complain to the town about a bed that we heard about from you. And then you're going to question me to my face about my way of handling it as making sense? You did this in front of your kid? You stood there and got made to kind of look like a fool, because I do it in a nice way, but I told her, you had an issue. You went to this place. If you have an issue with their bed size, then you complain to the town about giving you that this shelter is getting money from social services and providing you with a toddler bed for a teenager. You call the town and report this to them, not us. We didn't see it. We don't know about it. You're telling us, but we have nothing to do with that. Oh, so this makes sense. Y'all got nothing to do with the fact that y'all placing me at somewhere. Like, no, we don't have anything to do with their actual beds. We have something to do with whether or not they have the space to accommodate you. They do. It's on them what kind of beds they're going to give you. But she proceeded to argue with me and then still demanded to speak to a supervisor because that ain't right. That ain't right. Arguing in front of her, it's like friggin' 15-year-old looking kid who's damn near 6'8" looking. But it reminded me of Tommy because he plays this clip at the end, I think from the Terminator, where it's like, it can't be bargained with, it can't be reasoned with. It doesn't feel pity or remorse or fear, and it absolutely will not stop. And as I'm talking to this lady, actually now, anytime I'm ever talking to a black lady who is argumentative like this, I think of the same thing now. Every single time, it's kind of now, it's embedded in my head. If I'm talking to a black chick and she is argumentative like this, or even a white chick too. White chick, Spanish, it doesn't matter what the fuck I'm talking to. If I'm talking to somebody and they're argumentative like this is exactly what I go to. So thank you, Tommy, for putting this in me, for putting this now in my head, and now just gives me something more to laugh at when I see it happen. That was story time. Work stories. I told you I would give you some more. Peace. I do have to add this. As funny as that was, like as funny as this encounter with this woman was, like the sad part to me was, it just shows how stupid people think. Like, this is why you're in the situation that you're in. You took your family when you're homeless, and rather than talking to the case manager at the shelter, because I know one was there, I work for this company, I know how they work. Instead of talking to a case manager about getting moved, you up and decided, I'm going to now make my family homeless again. I'm going to put us at risk of having nowhere to go, so I can go here and complain to them about the size of the bed that they gave to my kid. I'm not going to take into account that my kid is a fucking giant, but I'm just going to get out here and complain about the fact that the bed is not big enough for him. You didn't provide him with a full size, you provided him with a twin. So because the bed is not big enough, rather than complaining to the case manager or trying to get moved to a different shelter through the case manager, you go down to a center and check in there at damn near 3 o'clock, knowing their doors close at 3 o'clock, deciding, now I'm homeless. Now I want to be moved to a new house. Now I need for my family to be moved somewhere else because I didn't think that first thing in the morning, what am I going to get up and do? Head down there to try to get myself into new housing, or get them to address this bed situation, or just get somebody to point out the fact that I now have a child that is just too big for a twin bed, but this is all I'm going to get. Like, that's the serious aspect to this. You decided to do this. And you're taking care of a kid. You got a son. Teenager. Grown. He's turning into a grown man, and he's watching you stand here and decide to make yourself and him homeless. I don't know if he's even got other siblings or not, but making y'all homeless and going down at the end of the day to try and get stuff done, teaching him from an early age to procrastinate. And just go here and fight with these people and they're going to give you what you want. Instead of making smart decisions like, yo, when you're at school or you don't have school today, so let me get up early in the morning and go down here to try to get this straightened out. Nah, let me wait until the end of the day. Because if you go down there at the end of the day and you scream and yell and stomp around, you ain't got to wait long. Why? Because they're trying to get home. They ain't going to want to deal with you. Stop. Do better.